This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Chris Billam-Smith over Zoom, or the gentle person, as Rob Tebbett passed over your details via WhatsApp to me. Chris, how you doing?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. There's a lot to kind of get through with regards to yourself, the gym, and a big fight that took place last night at the weight above your own, which we will start at. Joe Joyce with a 10th round stoppage victory against Daniel Dubois. Your thoughts on the fight first and foremost, Chris?
Yeah, I thought it'd be a little bit. I thought it'd catch light a little bit more, but it was, I personally had Dubois winning after 9 rounds. I had him like 6-3 up. I've seen online today that everyone had Joyce winning and completely outboxing him and stuff like that, but I had Dubois winning the fight comfortably. I thought his corner was sort of acting like he was behind as well, which I was quite shocked at. I thought he was landing the bigger shots. Obviously, Joyce's jab was quite dominant in the fight, but I didn't think it was enough to win rounds because there was very little coming off of it, and it wasn't like he was throwing every. It wasn't like every jab he threw was landing. But don't get me wrong, it was a very effective jab, and it's what won in the fight because of the eye injury. But yeah, I thought he had a good first round, Joyce. But then I thought, Dubois sort of settled after the first round and thought, right, nerves are gone, and started landing big shots. And I had him winning and had him up quite comfortably, to be honest. But the ending was what it was, and he had a severe eye injury. I've never had an eye injury myself, so I can't comment on. I've seen people saying he quit and stuff, and there's some people arguing that yeah he quit, but he quit for a good reason because of his eye. He's young, etc., which I totally agree with. But I don't really want to say he did or didn't quit. Like I said, I can't really comment because I've never been in that situation. But fair play to Joe Joyce. It was a fair play to both of them for taking the fight because it's a situation where there's no crowd and stuff like that as well. So we've got a lot of respect for people taking those sort of fights anyway, and then without a crowd as well. So yeah, fair play.
Did the fight play out, Chris, as you kind of imagined beforehand, or was it different? Did you expect maybe one or two bigger shots to be landed when the rounds progressed? Maybe as many people thought beforehand, before Daniel would have the early rounds, then Joe would take over the longer it would go on. Did the fight play out anywhere near what you thought it would do?
I actually thought we've seen Joe slow down in the past after a few rounds. He gets hit with some big shots and he seems to sort of. I thought he was actually less busy than he usually is. He looked a lot more controlled last night. I'd say that was something he'd improved on. He obviously had a game plan to sort of be a bit more controlled and not just walk forward throwing throwing combinations and 3, 4, 5, 6 shots at a time like he does. But and he obviously had a game plan to take Dubois' right hand away from him because he didn't move left once during the fight. He was just crept edging to his right, which I imagine this what him and his team agreed, and it did take the sting out of Dubois' right hand because even when he did land it, he was slightly off to the angle, and that can be the difference between taking it flush and not. And I thought that was really good, but I actually thought Joyce was going to go out and be his usual self and sort of burn out after a couple of rounds. And then I actually thought Dubois would probably get on top of him in the middle rounds, and then we'd see. We know Joe Joyce got a good chin, but see how good he is because Dubois is a massive, massive puncher, and he puts his shots together well when he's got someone going. But Dubois just couldn't seem to find a shot when he did land a good one. He seemed a bit erratic at times. Rather than measuring, it was like he'd land a good shot and then he'd just go gung ho and just try and finish him because that's what he does. Rather than maybe just setting him up with a couple of light jabs and feeding him a few shots, and then looking for a big one and mixing up the tempo slightly, which he could have done maybe in I can't remember what round it was, fourth or fifth maybe, where he started getting on top of it, and he maybe could have hurt Joe a bit more. But Joe's got a fantastic chin. it's probably that, and his engine is probably his best attributes. But he showed last night that he can calm the pace down as such and control the fight and follow instructions, which I thought he did well.
After the fight, we saw Joe immediately call out Alexander Usyk. Chris, would that be a fight you'd be interested in seeing?
Yeah, I remember watching them fight in the WSB in the amateurs years ago, and obviously Joe's a lot bigger than Usyk. He was then and still is. It'd be an interesting fight, that's for sure, because if Usyk couldn't stop Chisora and he landed pretty flush at times, I don't think he'd be able to stop Joe Joyce. So that across 12 rounds would be a very interesting fight, a huge fight. Be one definitely, I'd definitely be tuning in for that.
Just move forwards, but one other fight on the card we'll touch on. Jack Massey, obviously a fellow cruiserweight. Did you catch his fight? If so, what did you make of his win?
Yeah, I saw bits of it. I think I caught towards the end of the fight. Yeah, I mean, the guy was kind of dangerous, I guess, because he's got 16 knockouts and 16 wins. And Jack just sort of controlled him where he could and won the rounds. Yeah, like I said, I missed a few of the rounds. We only saw last three rounds. So yeah, he was. But no, Jack's obviously done well there to take a fight. It's obviously a dangerous fight. We've seen people with lesser records cause upsets before, and obviously he's a big puncher, the guy. So he yeah, and yeah, he obviously went in there and got a job done.
Onto yourself, Chris. We're all kind of waiting for news on the Dion Juma fight for that vacant British title. Have you got an update for us?
Not confirmed yet. I think they're looking at January the 30th. I'm not sure on the situation with Dion's eye. He had an eye injury. I think they're saying he's going to be ready by January the 30th. I'm not even sure what the injury was. I don't know if it was a torn retina or anything like that. I just heard he got emergency eye surgery, and he'll be good to go. January the 30th is what I'm hearing, basically.
Are there any other plans that you've got in place in case Dion can't fight? Is there anybody else you are looking at and considering?
That's something I want to make sure that if we're going to go January the 30th, obviously with an eye injury, they're quite serious. And if Dion can't make the fight, then I want to make sure that there's a replacement there, or people willing to take a fight around that time at least. So any cruiserweights watching this, make sure you're ready just in case. But yeah, it's like I've said before, the Tommy McCarthy fight for the European, Dion for the British. They're both great fights. They're domestic fights, which makes sense at stages of all of our careers, mine, Tommy's, and Dion's. We're all around that level, and we want to prove who's the best out of us lot, and yeah, and keep progressing on. So yeah, those sort of fights, but it's a tough time. A lot of people aren't ready. There's opportunities that are there to fill in for spots, and people aren't taking them. But so I think, and it's not the cruiserweights; it's all divisions. People have got to stay ready. I think that's really important, especially at the moment where people are moaning about not being able to fight because there's no crowds, because they're on small shows, or the opportunities aren't there because there's less fights, there's less shows, etc. But I think, yeah, people, the true professionals will stay ready, and the people that are just on that brink of fighting for a title need to stay ready when they get the opportunity.
Chris, stick with the cruiserweights. You've got one in your own camp in Laurence Coley getting ready for that Krzysztof Glavatsky bout. It's only a matter of 2 weeks away now. How's Laurence been looking in camp?
Yeah, he's been fantastic, to be honest. He's looked really sharpest I've seen him, and that was a few weeks ago in sparring. I thought to myself, like, you could see the switch was flipped sort of thing, and he really switched it on, and he's got some brilliant sparring in. He's looking fantastic in camp, and I really do expect him to do a number on Glowacki, and I think it could easily be over early if Laurence I can just see Laurence walking him onto a shot, and I'll be genuinely surprised if it goes past 5 rounds. I think Laurence just hits too hard, and someone like Glowacki's style, I think, is just made for Laurence. He'll just walk him onto a shot, one of his big, big backhands and he's got power in the uppercut, the right hand, the right hook, whatever it may be. And I just see him doing damage with that shot and getting him out of there.
And then another campmate of yours, Luke Campbell, gearing up for that Ryan Garcia clash on a new date of January 2nd. Will you be trying to get over there, Chris? Will you be trying to get over stateside?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. I'd love to. I think we're gonna struggle with the situation, the permits, work permits, and everything. But I'd love to be out there. I've always enjoyed watching Luke, even before he joined us, and obviously last time out in Philadelphia, he was out in the States. I was there, so yeah, it was. I'd love to go out there and watch Luke do a number on Garcia, which I believe he will. I believe he's, I can't see a way Garcia wins if Luke's on form, and that's the truth, because I think he's quite flat-footed. Garcia, he likes to wait for people, and the gap in level compared to what he has boxed at to Luke, I think it's a lack of experience. And I think I said this before in a tweet or something, that it'll be a similar fight to the Mayweather Canelo in the fact of, Canelo got taken to school that night and improved off the back of it, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think Luke will take him to school and really give him a good boxing lesson and potentially stop him. His chin's definitely going to get tested, so it will answer a lot of questions. But I just see him getting outboxed, and then the excuse of him being too young and too inexperienced will come out, and he'll learn off the back of it.
Right, Chris, we will leave it there now, and I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day, because I know you've got to shoot off in 10 minutes or so. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you, the gentle person, as Rob Devon has again listed you in his photo. I'll be remembering that one for next time we do an interview. Appreciate you giving up some time today, though, mate. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Nice one. Thanks, Andy. Take care, mate.